This week we will be reading City Life is for the Birds as our vocabulary read aloud. Before we begin, let's review our target vocabulary words for this week. I will say, then you will say. Beaks, branches, break, deepest, hang, pond, shaped, winding. Now, as we read our story this week, you're going to listen for each of these target vocabulary words. When you hear them, shout them out. Make sure I can hear you all the way from your house. We will also be pausing along the way to answer some of our questions. So listen carefully. City life is for the birds. Pale Male and his mate Lola weren't trying to cause trouble. The two red-tailed hawks were just doing what hawks do, sharing a nest, hunting for prey, and raising chicks. Bird lovers like to stand at the edge of a nearby pond and watch the hawk make winding trails through the air, swooping into the deepest shadows of a park and returning home with a tasty meal in their beaks or talons. Their home wasn't in the branches of a tree. It was high up on the outside of a tall apartment building in New York City. That's what caused the trouble. Some of the people who lived in the building weren't crazy about sharing their home with the birds. They didn't like the dirty twigs and sticks that would break off from the huge saucer-shaped nest and drop past their windows. They really didn't like finding leftovers from the dinners splattered on their sidewalk. They decided to get rid of the nest. Pale Male and Lola would build a new one in a park tree, wouldn't they? No place like home. Pale Male and Lola must have liked their old home better because they tried to rebuild it the exact same spot. The problem was that the metal spikes that kept it from blowing away weren't there anymore. Workers had taken them down along with the nest, and most of the new twigs that the birds brought back tumbled to the ground. How did Pale Male and Lola feel about all this? No one can really know, but everyone knew how the bird lovers felt. They were angry. They wrote letters to newspapers and to wildlife groups. Many of them gathered near the building and carried signs asking the apartment people to let the hawks come home. The hawks return. With help from some bird experts, workers were able to hang a steel cradle where the spikes used to be. Now the nest wouldn't blow off, and pieces of leftover meals wouldn't fall off. After Pale Male and Lola carefully checked it out, they gathered more new twigs and started rebuilding their nest. The apartment people were satisfied, the bird lovers cheered, and the hawks had their home back. What a great story, friends, about hawks. We're going to read about a lot of different animals this week, and I hope you enjoy it just as much as I do.